Hey everyone, Anneke Godlewski here for another week of Maximum Storytelling. We are live in the Maximum Lawyer Guild, and for those of you listening at home, it means that you're probably checking out the podcast after our live broadcast. So today we are going to discuss debunking myths and how you can use them for great video topics. We all have heard the stereotypes surrounding attorneys. Personal injury attorneys are ambulance chasey, or hiring an attorney costs too much money, or it's better for me to represent myself after a traffic ticket. All of those common myths that so many of us have encountered over, years and years and years of being in the legal community. So not only are those myths extremely annoying for those of us who understand what's real and what's actually not true, but it's also frustrating because I think that some of these myths really truly prevent people from getting the help that they need, and they would be more than happy, more than willing, more than ready to hire a lawyer if they just didn't believe those myths, right? So today we're going to talk about how to not only debunk those myths, but also to use them to your advantage when creating video. Creating a simple format for addressing each and every one of these myths is super easy. One, you figure out, what common misconception it is that that potential clients think about when hiring an attorney or about the legal process in general. So you figure out what that myth is, right? You figure out what the true answer is. So of course, we all know what the true answer is if we are in that practice area. And then third, talk a little bit about how you help your clients overcome that myth. So for instance, we'll take personal injury, for example. One of the common misconceptions about personal injury attorneys is that if you're injured in an accident, it doesn't make sense to hire a lawyer because you can simply do that on, handle the situation on your own, and it'll cost you less money. State what the myth is. Myth. It'll cost me less money if I handle a personal injury case on my own. What's the true answer? The true answer is not typically, right? We all know that using a personal injury attorney is going to get you more money in your pocket because they're going to be able to maximize your claim more. They're going to be able to negotiate with the insurance adjuster. They're going to be able to save you time, which is also a form of saving money because they're handling all these things for you. And third, that the adjusters know typically that when a potential client or client is using an attorney, they have to cover that legal cost too in some sort of way to, because they know that the attorney is going to beat them down settlement wise. So give the answer, that's the answer to the myth of I can make more money if I handle my car accident claim by myself. And then third, how do you help your client understand that that is a myth and that it's actually not true? Well, in our office, hypothetically, this is what you would say in your video. In our office, we really help our clients understand the truth behind this myth by showing them past settlements. We show them exactly what we do to try to get them more money in their pocket. We, make sure that we communicate on a regular basis with our clients to understand that, going to your medical treatment and following all the things that we are instructing you to do is going to make a difference at the end. And then showing them the comparison on, look, let's just say you didn't have an attorney. Here's what would happen. Here are some of the things that you would be up against. And here's how that would make more sense. So there's so many different myths, of course, in all of the legal world. But if you're having trouble kind of thinking of some of those, ask your clients, right? Again, we talk about this in nearly every episode. Let's find ways and find reasons to talk to our clients that don't involve asking them to do something or asking them for a review or asking them for help. We want to be able to add value to our clients' lives. We don't want to burden them. We don't want to seem needy, but showing them that you care about their opinion is going to make a difference, right? So if you're trying to think of different myths that might apply to your practice area, ask them, say, what did you have any hesitations before you hired us? Did you have any hesitations before even thinking about hiring an attorney in the first place? What was going through your mind? What misconceptions did you have before you started this process? And then how did those misconceptions kind of sort themselves out after the fact? And how did those misconceptions go away, right? So perhaps somebody was on the fence about hiring a lawyer because they thought that it really was going to cost them, or they were going to get more money in their pocket after an accident than if they did use an attorney. So that misconception was still on their minds when they were referred to your office. And then they came in, they ended up hiring you. So obviously they felt like that misconception was not an issue enough to, they hired you. So clearly they thought that it was okay. When did that change? What information were they given to have their minds change? Finding out answers to questions like that from your clients can help you make a list of the myths and then address them in the videos. But like, for instance, estate planning, right? There are so many myths surrounding that. A lot of people think that you have to have a lot of money in order to make it important enough, to talk to an attorney about planning your estate. Again, that's not true. But here are just some that we came up with. Myth number one: it's cheaper to make a will or a living will or a trust on your own. So many people think that they can just write on a piece of paper, this is what I want to happen after I die. Well, we all know that that's definitely not the case. And it could actually cause so many more problems down the road. So address, the fact that, yes, of course, it might seem cheaper on the front end, but here are all the things that could happen on the back end. That's another little side note for anyone for any of these attorneys in any of the practice areas listening to this podcast at home. Sometimes your audience, they could connect more with the risk versus the benefit. So yes, it might seem cheaper. The benefit is it might seem cheaper to create your own will, but here are 10 risks of what could go wrong, what could really cause some detriment to your family and to your estate if you don't hire an attorney to do it. So those the list of risks, tongue-tied here, the list of risks might be more grab their attention more than just the benefit of it seemingly costing less money. So keep that in mind too. When you're trying to explain why that myth, first part of the video, state what the myth is, the common misconception. Number two, state why that myth is incorrect and why it is a myth in the first place. And then include the benefits of not believing it, plus the risks that could happen if you do follow that myth. And then number three, how you yourself help your clients understand why that myth isn't true and how you give them confidence to believe that that myth is not, it's not what it doesn't seem like it is. So again, going back to estate planning, the wills and living wills are the same thing. They're not. That number three, you need a plan for the reading of your will, or only wealthy or old or sick people need a will. Maybe one of the myths is that, hey, I already have a will, so that means I don't ever have to update it. I'm good to go. I do it once and then it's good for the rest of my life. Other ones, that you can avoid probate if you make a will. Again, that's not always true. So the government will inherit my property if I don't have a will or an estate plan. Again, we all know the common things in every practice area that just simply aren't true, right? Personal injury world. I don't need a lawyer because I really only had minor injuries. Again, sometimes that could be true, but a lot of times it's not, especially if there are a lot of other factors that are going to that are going to need sorted out. Um, Attorneys are only worried about making money. Unfortunately, that is a stereotype that follows personal injury attorneys so often. It's I feel bad for you guys because so many times people think that personal injury attorneys are ambulance chasers. Again, especially if you're a part of the maximum lawyer world and if you take the time to follow what Jim and Tyson do and follow all of the other people in this amazing group, everyone has that same mentality of serve your client first, build relationships, don't make it all about the money, make sure that you're doing your clients' cases the justice that they deserve. You guys aren't out for money. I know it, but of course the general public has kind of, unfortunately sometimes put a little bit of a black mark on personal injury attorneys, which is why it is so important to get this information out there and to be your genuine self and to show your clients the human being that you are, right, behind that title of lawyer. Filing a personal injury case absolutely guarantees that I'm going to win and it guarantees that I'm going to get compensation. Again, that's not necessarily true either. So make sure to address that in videos. It would be super helpful because a lot of times when people are stressed out because they're hurt and because they've been in an accident, there's so many underlying things that they're having to deal with that money is always an added stressor to those little things. So, addressing the compensation and, one of the myths is often that you're going to have to still have even if your case doesn't settle and if you don't win in court, that you're going to have this hefty lawyer bill. A lot of people are like, okay, well, I already can't work because of the accident. I already am stressed out because my car isn't working. And now, my friend is suggesting that I call an attorney. Well, what happens if I don't win? What happens if I don't get a settlement? I don't have extra money to pay that attorney fee at the end of the case. Well, I'm sure many of you personal injury guys listening, gals listening are, you work on a contingency fee basis where that person doesn't pay unless you do win. That's a huge myth that a lot of people don't understand. So again, addressing that in video can help you get that point across. My insurance company will cover everything, so I don't need a lawyer. Again, so there's so many myths connected to insurance companies because we all think that just because we pay our premiums that the insurance company is going to be there for me and they're going to take care of everything. And we all know that that is not the case, especially if it was somebody else who caused, if you're dealing with the at-fault parties insurance, we all know it's crazy. The things that they're supposed to pay for and the things that they're, bound, they 100% should cover. All these insurance companies are out there trying to save money, trying to settle claims as cheaply as possible. So the only way to usually get around that is to have somebody advocating for you and, in your corner fighting, which is, who's the attorney. But we've asked, sometimes people will ask us, well, what, why does it really make that, like, yeah, there are myths out there, but, making these videos is important, I guess, to debunk the myths and get that information out there. But how can I take it a step further? Well, if you taking the time to make that, put some effort into that third part that I'm suggesting in, telling your audience what you do to help your clients understand how that myth was debunked or like why that myth was debunked, that will help you build a personal connection with the people watching your videos. It'll help them understand that not only do you want them to understand the true information, understand that it is a myth, you are also going to come off as the type of person who cares enough to make sure that even somebody who's not their client yet, you're just a general, you're just a person from the general public watching this on YouTube or, on Facebook or wherever they're watching this video. You care enough to spend a couple extra minutes talking about why it's important and what you do for your clients to help them understand. That's going to show that you actually care about them as a person and their understanding, and that it matters to you that they're not stressed out, and it matters to you that everyone's on the same page, because sometimes that's a myth in the whole legal world, right? The myth that attorneys are out there just because they want to make some money, and they don't really, 9 times out of 10, they treat their clients like numbers, and they don't try to build personal relationships with them. So again, that's an umbrella myth about the legal industry that you could easily debunk in the videos that you create. Again, it all boils down to being your human self and actually caring about your clients. Sometimes, you have to nudge some of these lawyers and say, look, if you really aren't in it for the right reasons, then you just are going to have a stronger or a tougher battle, because you gotta make sure that you're doing it for the right reason if you want to attract the clients who are going to trust you, like you, and want to be your client for life and want to give you referrals. And if you're not the type of attorney who is doing it for the right reasons, and you're doing it for your pocketbook, that's fine. Of course, everyone's, entitled to do things for the reasons that they want, but just be prepared to have to work that much harder to try to get repeat business. You're probably going to have to resort to forms of marketing that are, one and done, right? You're going to get these clients, you're going to help them, you're going to collect the money, but just be prepared to not probably see them back unless, you have the right reasons behind what you're doing, what you're doing. So again, go out there, make a list of all of the myths that surround your practice area, all the myths that surround your, the legal world in general. You can Google it. You can ask your clients. You can ask your staff. You can ask your other attorneys. Hey, what is the most common thing that you guys hear in your day-to-day work that you just laugh because you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that these clients actually thought that. To us, it seems silly because we're in this world and we see all of the different situations all day long. So to us, they're not, it's funny that people would even think that way. But again, for the general public, that they're not in the legal world every single day. So they've created these conceptions in their minds that are definitely different than what life is really like in the legal world. So make a list of all of those myths, make a list of all the videos that you want to create to debunk those myths, explain why that myth is not true. And then number 3, explain what you try to do to debunk those myths for your own personal clients, and all the different ways that you are able to really truly help your clients understand those myths and why they are not true, and why it's important to to not believe them. And you will end up with not only a great audience of, a captive audience, but you're also going to hopefully increase, the number of clients that come to your door. And then also you're going to have more informed clients who will then be able to communicate those myths and and how those myths aren't true to their family and friends, so that when they have the potential or the possibility of encountering a family or friend who needs a lawyer, and that family or friend perhaps believes some of these myths, your clients are going to be able to explain better why those myths aren't true and what it is you have done for them to prove those myths wrong, which of course is going to increase referrals. It's going to build stronger relationships with your clients, and it's going to help arm them with the information that they're going to need to properly refer cases and explain to their family and friends why you are the best choice. So join us live in the Maximum Lawyer Guild every Wednesday from at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. Maximum Storytelling Podcast. We'd love to have you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and definitely send those podcast topics our way, because we're always looking for wonderful things to talk about. And if you have any questions about how to make your storytelling on video even better, make sure to reach us. Thanks for listening.